It's a brand new week, and this lunch hour will be filled with the news making headlines across Namibia and expanding to the rest of the continent and the globe. In the news today, Namibia launches vaccination campaign for children between 12 and 17. The long-anticipated boxing match saw Namibia's Jeremiah Nakathila emerge victorious against his Mexican rival over the weekend. We also take a look at the news headlining today's daily newspapers, bring you sports news and international headlines. This and more in today's broadcast. My name is Glenn Rashipura, and this is NMH at 1. In today's midday news update, the Office of the Prime Minister's top leadership gathered today in Windhoek for a strategic plan review. The Prime Minister, Amadila, called on all managers within the Office of the Prime Minister to come up with strategic objectives that aligned to the needs and aspirations of the nation. We come back with visual news from across the regions. Do stay with us.
Have you received a loan from NSFAF? NSFAF loan is the same as any other loan. It must be paid and settled. NSFAF has a set of guidelines on how you can repay your loan and become debt-free. Therefore, it is important that you, a former beneficiary and a responsible Namibian, show your patriotism by helping pay back your loan and thus helping NSFAF become a revolving fund for the benefit of future potential students. By failing to pay back your NSFAF loan, you risk being blacklisted or having a court order against you. So arrange with the fund to pay back your loan today. For more information on how you can repay your loan, visit our website at www.nasfaf.na or visit our Facebook page or Twitter. Do the right thing and hashtag #paybackthemoney.
Welcome back. We now take a look at visual news. And the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and other stakeholders, rolled out a vaccination campaign for children between 12 and 17 last week in a bid to curb the coronavirus. Let's have a look.
I had other materials underneath at the back.
Our children, our learners to get vaccinated and to allow teaching and learning in our schools to continue uninterrupted. With the approval of the World Health Organization to vaccinate children and learners aged between 12 and 17 years, the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture saw it fit to join the forces with the Ministry of Health and Social Services, the Ministry of Information and Communication.
Across those lines. You must love every school child that needs to get a dose, that they get that dose. Because among them, there are doctors that we have had reduced by COVID-19. There are teachers, there are nurses, there are pharmacists, there are farmers, there are future parents. All those categories of people that COVID-19 robbed of us. That COVID-19 reduced our national capacity.
get vaccinated and kick COVID-19 out of Namibia. What a wonderful initiative that was. Now, the annual Desert Sports Festival took place at Walvis Bay Private High School over the weekend, where young athletes participated in rugby, netball, and hockey. Here are some of the young athletes.
Môre julle, dis Juffrou Salome by Walvis Bay Privaat Hoërskool, netbal organiseerder. Ons het 'n ongelooflike woestynfees hierdie jaar. Die gees is great by die netbal. Ons het hierdie jaar vir die eerste keer is parkies by ons onder 13 netbalspan. Ek hoop hulle dit verskriklik geniet. En soos julle hier agter ons kan sien, hier was nou 'n intense game onder 15 proue teen Dolphin School. Hulle het baie mooi gespeel. Die games hierdie jaar is lekker intens van ons meisies, ek dink reg oor die land. Hulle het 2 jaar laas ongelooflike netbal gehad om te speel en ons is baie dankbaar vir die geleentheid wat ons meisies weer het. So,
okay, how was the netball, the energy compared to last year's netball?
ek dink die gees was meer want die ouers kon hierdie jaar bietjie inkom en kom kyk. Oeps. Kleintjies geniet dit ook. Die gees was meer verlede jaar het die ouers hier en daar oral oor die mure geloer en hierdie jaar kon hulle netbal geniet. So die ouers geniet dit verskriklik.
Alright, do you look forward to next year's Desert Festival?
Yes, ek dink volgende jaar gaan ons die Suid-Afrikaanse skole ook weer hier kan kry as COVID weer vir ons toelaat. Ons sien baie uit en ons dink die fees gaan groter en groter gaan. Ons is baie opgewonde.
Thank you.
Dankie.
Hi, I'm Gita Dax from Kubelvis Gymnasium. I play under 19. It's amazing being here. It's our first time, so we're new to this. It's a little bit a big game that we're used to, but it was really fun. I didn't play my last day because I hit my ankle, but it's a big experience being here. It's really amazing.
Do you think that you guys will be coming back next year?
Yes, definitely. We still need a little bit of experience, so we didn't do that well, but it's all for a little bit, it's getting that experience and knowing what to work on. Yes.
Hallo, my naam is Jorina Verrie, ek is van Prowit Akademie. Ons was laas jaar ook hier so en ons voel ons het al baie verbeter. En ons het 'n paar nuwe jongelingetjies in ons span en ons is baie positief oor ons span hierdie jaar en ons het so ver baie goed gevorder. Ons is baie kompeterend, maar ons raak nie lelik op die veld nie. Ons hou ons koppe af en plat op die aarde. En ek dink ons is baie goed sover en ons vaar goed en ons wens sterkte toe aan al die ander spanne ook die res van die jaar.
How was this year's event compared to last year's?
Baie goed. Walvis is 'n baie goeie skool om hierdie te reël. Ons dink hulle is 'n perfekte skool en ons dink dit is 'n baie groot sukses nog elke liewe jaar.
Hello, I'm Kylie Jacobs. I play for VIS, Winter High School, and this is my first year here at the Steenfees in Walvis Bay. And we had a game this morning. It was very interesting. It was quite difficult against Kubabas Gym, and our power play went very well. We scored a lot of points, and it was very fun.
How do you find the event overall?
It's very interesting. I love the difference of atmosphere than to what we have in Windhoek. It's much more fun, cooler, more windy. The vibe is just different. I like it.
When we return, we'll be taking a sneak peek inside Namibia's daily print publications. But first, a quick ad break. Welcome back. Let's take a look at our daily newspapers. Now, the Namibian Sun front page leads a story that states the Social Security Commission has only managed to recover a paltry 25,000 Namibian dollars from its 120 million Namibian dollars investment in the SME bank. Now, the Commission's latest audit report showed that the company made a $1 million investment in the failed SME bank, which was placed under curatorship by the Bank of Namibia in 2017 on account of questionable investments. Namibian Sun reports that Grootfontein CEO Kisko Sinvula says a decision by council to suspend him is a result of an existing political witch hunt by the town's mayor, Talita Karises, and others in the local authority. He accused them of being under instruction of a third party, but he refused to say who. Now, Republican reports that shortly after 2 police officers from Noord-Ower allegedly helped the fugitive Walter Mooster sneak into the country, he was arrested when another alert police officer saw him hitchhiking near Noord-Ower. Mooster escaped to South Africa last year after sneaking out of a Windhoek hospital where police took him for treatment. Now, Republican reports that several countries in SADC have relaxed their requirements for access to the countries in line with COVID-19 regulations. Visitors to Namibia who have been fully vaccinated no longer have to have a negative PCR test result at border posts, but their vaccination card. The Allgemeine Zeitung reports that in addition to the damage of almost 25 million Namibian dollars that the Agenhash family of Henties Bay suffered when the spa was destroyed by a fire on Saturday night, 2 people were also injured in the incident. Allgemeine Zeitung also reports that exploration company Recon Africa apparently enjoyed special treatment from Namibian authorities after it was allowed to profile itself as the only exploration company and to promote its presence in the Casa TFCA area unchallenged. Up next, we'll continue with the newspaper review right after the break. Welcome back. We now take a look at our second batch of news from our local newspapers. Now, firstly, the Namibian relays the experience of assisting a loved one to die. Euthanasia or assisted suicide is illegal in Namibia, yet many families resort to this practice to relieve their loved ones of severe suffering due to incurable or painful disease. Now, the newspaper cites an example where a family agreed to assist in the suicide of a relative who was a sole survivor in a horrific car accident that occurred in 2015. Now, the relatives said it was heartbreaking seeing him in pain every day and agreed to assist him to die. Now, according to the Namibian, the Popular Democratic Movement, PDM, pulled off an act of electoral fraud against its supporters when the party's leadership decided to change its list of National Assembly candidates after the 2019 election, according to lawyer Norman Shombe. Now, Shombe made the remarks during the Supreme Court during the hearing of an appeal by PDM against the Electoral Court's decision that 6 of the party's MPs are illegally in Parliament. Now, according to New Era, government has been advised to consider amending the necessary laws in order to protect defaulting homeowners from potential abuse by mortgage lenders. New Era reports that Namkerenkuru Combined School learners have come to the rescue of an unemployed disabled woman at the town by donating food items and other necessities. They used 500 Namibian dollars that they had recently won in a tournament. Now, in economic news, according to Market Watch, as the impact of COVID-19 continues to cool off, companies with the reopening of most economies, rental growth in Namibia is yet again back on its upward trajectory, recording smaller contractions over time. Now, this points to a gradual easing of the tight market conditions that have characterized the rental market over the past year and a half. At the end of 2021, the 12-month average rental index growth posted a contraction of 0.7%. This represents a significant improvement when compared to a contraction of 2.1% recorded a year earlier. In dollar terms, the national weight average rent came in at $6,728 at the end of 2021 from $6,747 a year ago. Now, staying with economic news, a bumper harvest is expected through one of Namibia's green schemes in the Kavango West region. More on this and more stories from the world of economics when we return.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome to another exciting edition.
Thank you for staying with us. In today's economic news, hopes are high that the Musese Green Scheme farm in the Kavango West region will see a bumper harvest through cooperation between the management of the farm, the local government, and the Namibia Industrial Development Agency with the support of the Homba Traditional Authority. Planting kicked off in December last year on the Green Scheme, which has been leased to a private operator for 20 years. Winnie Matsega, a professional borehole driller, has a joint venture with the current leaseholder and hopes for a bumper harvest. Now, Matsega last week said this season they have 813.5 hectares of land under irrigation, of which 108 hectares belongs to 9 small-scale farmers, 100 hectares at the Kanyikama private green scheme, and 12.5 hectares at Manyara. Now, at Musese, a total of 531 hectares of land had commercially planted maize, while 62 hectares are for beans to augment nitrogen in the soil. In total, some 18 million Namibian dollars has been invested into this planting season. Now, in our next stories, bakers in Mozambique's Maputo and the neighboring city of Matola have increased the price of bread by up to 25%. But the Mozambican Bakers Association says it was not consulted, according to a report by the independent television station. Now, a week ago, a standard 200-gram loaf of bread cost between 8 and 10 metikias, equivalent to between 12 and 5 and 15.6 US cents at the current exchange rate. But as from last Wednesday, bakers hiked the price, and the same loaf now costs between 9 and 12 metikias. Now, the bakers say they have no alternative but to raise their prices, given the increase in the cost of raw materials, particularly wheat, flour, and of liquid fuels. One baker said the price of a 50-kilo sack of wheat flour costs nearly double what he used to pay for it. AMAPO, however, does not recognize the price increase. Its chairperson, Victor Miguel, told STV, "We have not yet received any information about a rise in the price of bread." Let's take a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar is down against these 4 major currencies, with $1 now costing you 14 Namibian dollars and 63 cents. No major changes are observed for these companies in the Namibia Stock Exchange, as closing prices remained unchanged. Closing prices for these companies remain the same, while both the local and overall price index have increased. Looking at our weekly commodities, Brent crude oil remains on a rise, now trading at $119.98. Zinc also increased by 0.68%. To stay with us for when we return, we'll be in South Africa, where activists say that there are individuals feeding the anger of South Africans brought up by economic factors to fuel a xenophobic fire. Stick around for this story. Welcome back. We now take a look at news from across Africa. Now, several hundred South Africans and migrants staged an anti-xenophobia rally in response to marches against migrants by the self-styled Operation Doodla movement. Now, the anti-migrant sentiment is on the rise in South Africa, which is home to over 3 million refugees, asylum seekers, and migrant workers. Now, there are people in our country who are trying to take advantage of the anger the people feel about poverty, about unemployment, about hunger, and they're trying to turn that anger onto foreigners. They're trying to create a fire, a xenophobic fire, said Mark Haywood, an activist. Now, the man known as the pioneer of Operation Doodla says he's defending South African workers and has received a big following. Nandla Dlamini was arrested by police on Thursday. South Africa is periodically plagued by xenophobic violence. Clashes broke out in 2015, 2016, and again in 2019. Now, in our next story, we are in Nigeria. A tanker truck loaded with petrol exploded in the Nigerian city of Lagos, killing at least 6 people. Now, officials said the tanker had a head-on collision with another truck with a resulting blaze destroying both vehicles. Now, a motorbike rider caught in the flames was among the victims of the Sunday evening incident. Nigeria has seen frequent deadly road accidents and explosions involving fuel tankers in recent years. Now, road accidents in Nigeria are almost blamed on bad roads, disregard for traffic regulations, and poor maintenance of vehicles. We now move on to international news. Allegations have surfaced that prison systems in North Korea are defying international laws and human rights. Stick around for the full story right after the break.
Choose your Flex package with Paratus today. Sign up for ultra-fast fiber with the convenience of mobile LTE. That's 2 products in 1 bundle. It's new, it's 1 bill, and you can stay connected in more than 1 location.
For more information, visit paratus.africa/NA.
Always prepared. Paratus.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's take a look at our international news. Now, more than 200 people have contributed to a detailed investigation by Korea Future into violations of international law within North Korea's prison system, which has identified 597 perpetrators linked to 5,181 human rights violations committed against 785 detainees in 148 penal facilities. Now, the group has also created a 3D model of the unsunk detention center to allow people to see the conditions for themselves. Korea Future co-director told the BBC that the prison system and the violence within it was being used to suppress a population of 25 million people. One interviewee cried as she recounts witnessing the killing of a newborn baby. North Korea has always denied allegations of human rights abuses. The country is currently more isolated from the world than it has ever been. The Kim family has ruled the country for 3 generations, and its citizens are required to show complete devotion to the family and its current leader, Kim Jong-un. Now, the COVID pandemic has brought even stricter controls both within the country and at the border. Now, tougher prison sentences have been imposed on those who try to get a glimpse of the outside world. Now, in our next story, we are in Ukraine. With peace talks between Russia and Ukraine set to take place in Turkey this week, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has insisted on the territorial integrity of his country after earlier suggestion he was ready for a compromise. Now, Zelensky said on Sunday that in talks due to take place in Istanbul, his government would prioritize the territorial integrity of Ukraine. But in comments made to Russian journalists earlier in the day, Zelensky adopted a different tone, saying Ukraine was willing to assume neutral status and compromise over the status of Eastern Donbas region as part of a peace deal. In the video call, Zelensky said any agreement must be guaranteed by third parties and put to a referendum. Even with talks looming, Ukraine's head of military intelligence, Kyrylo Bondanov, said Russian President Vladimir Putin was aiming to seize the eastern part of Ukraine. In fact, it is an attempt to create North and South Korea in Ukraine, he said, referring to the division of Korea after World War II. Now we move on to our sports news, starting with boxing champ Jeremiah Nakathila, who represented the land of the brave in an international boxing ring yesterday. More on this when we return. Welcome back. Let's take a look at our local sports news. In some boxing news, Namibia's Jeremiah Nakathila emerged as a winner after trading leather with his Mexican rival Miguel Berchelt with a 6-round knockout in their lightweight bout stages in Las Vegas Sunday morning. Now on to some rugby news. Namibia's under-20 team beat UNAM 31-26 in a friendly match at the UNAM Stadium in Windhoek on Saturday. Now this result greatly pleased Cresanda Botha, the coach. Namibian sprint sensation Christine Boma and Beatrice Masilingi are in Oregon in the United States of America to compete in preparation events as the athletics calendar intensifies. After the news, we take a look at international sports news. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Let's take a look at our international sports stories. Now, on the international front, Czech teenager Linda Fruhvirtova on Sunday became the youngest player to reach the last 16 of the Miami Open since 2004, when former world #1 Victoria Azarenka retired from their 3rd-round match. World champion Max Verstappen admitted he was relieved to secure his first win of the season after battling to a thrilling victory ahead of old rival Charles Leclerc in Sunday's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Now, teenage Russian figure skater Kamila Valieviev, who became the focus of a doping controversy at the Winter Olympics, returned to action on Sunday and said, "I'm happy to be on the ice." Do stick around for highlights after the break.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome to another exciting edition.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, here are the highlights. A tanker truck loaded with petrol exploded in the Nigerian city of Lagos, killing at least 6 people. A detailed investigation by Korea Future has identified 597 perpetrators linked to 5,181 human rights violations committed against 785 detainees in 148 penal facilities. Namibia's Jeremiah Nakathila beat his Mexican rival Miguel Berchelt with a 6-round knockout in their lightweight bout stages in Las Vegas Sunday morning. Czech teenager Linda Frohitova on Sunday became the youngest player to reach the last 16 of the Miami Open since 2004. Well done to her. Hopes are high that the Musese Green Scheme farm in the Kavango West region will see a bumper harvest after planting commenced in December last year. Those have been your highlights. Thank you for staying with NMH at 1 and spending your lunch hour with me, Glenora Shipura. Remember to tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m. as we take you through the latest happenings in Namibia and beyond. But until then, here is a compilation of news from across the region in Namibia.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome to another exciting edition.
Choose your flex package with Paratus today. Sign up for ultra-fast fiber with the convenience of mobile LTE. That's 2 products in one bundle. It's new, it's one bill, and you can stay connected in more than one location.
For more information, visit paratus.africa/NA.
Always prepared. Paratus.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to another episode of Regional Review. I'll be your host, Tuemo Haidula, and I'm coming to you live from Oshana region. Today is World Sticks Day. We are not talking about the sticks for the brooms and the mops. We are talking about food that comes on sticks. So if you enjoy a good kebab or society, today's your day to go out there and make some for yourself. Do enjoy! Namibia Blood Transfusion Services has embarked on a campaign which is called a peer program to encourage school-going learners to donate blood. Namibia is currently experiencing a blood shortage countrywide because Namibians are not donating blood. The organization feels that Namibians want to be paid to donate blood, something which is currently not taking place. The peer program is aimed at using learners to encourage their own classmates and their own peers and to educate them and to tell them the importance of donating blood so that they can save lives.
By which a person's blood is a window period is a period by when a person is identified by when the person is HIV positive.
Okay, we need energy. I need hands up. Maybe on me we shout NMBTS save lives. Okay? 1, 2, 3. NMBTS save lives. HIV test, as an example, okay? Then they'll tell you should come back after 30 days to do a retest because you might be in a window period. So that's just a period in between. Potentially, even if your test comes out negative, potentially the instruments and the different reagents that they are using won't be able to pick up whether or not you are positive, okay? That's why they tell you to come back after 30 days. Now, there's a reason for this, okay? I'll give you a quick 2-minute biology lesson, yeah? It's gonna sound very serious, but it's just a lot of biology words, okay? Now, there are different tests that are conducted in order to test whether something is positive or not, okay? In this particular scenario, they use what is known as a virology test, okay? A virology test is testing for your body, antibodies against a particular infection. They are testing whether your body is reacting against a particular infection, okay? Whether it has built up antibodies to fight off a certain virus, okay? NAT testing, on the other hand, tests for the genetic material of the virus. So they are not looking for your body's reaction to a virus.
Muma added that they've also made a decision to visit different schools so that they can sensitize school-going learners and to educate them to not throw stones at stray dogs, because when they do that, they agitate the dogs, making them violent. We are going to talk about the Ngwediva Town Council has embarked on a mission to educate its residents following recent complaints about stray dogs which have been attacking its residents. The town has so far recorded 5 cases of stray dogs between January and February, and it's concerned about the safety of its residents. Ngwediva Town Council spokesperson Jackson Muma told Namibian Sun that they are urging dog owners to make sure that they keep their dogs within the confinement of their boundaries and their houses, and to make sure that people who own dogs from nearby villages, they feed their dogs to prevent the dogs from following them to town when they leave home for work.
From January to February 2022, Ngwediva Town Council has received reports of dog attacks amounting to 5, and that brought a concern. The council then engaged stakeholders, that is SPCA, NAMPO, community members, and veterinaries. So we converged and we had discussions on what should be done, and as such several points were raised, and we reached consensus on certain issues that should be done. Number one is that dog owners in Ngwediva should make sure that their dogs are within the confinement of their yards, and the dogs should be vaccinated, especially against the rabies, so that at least we have a safer environment. The council will also visit schools and other institutions, especially where we have kids, so that we can teach them or educate them on how to handle dogs. In fact, we have reports that some of the school-going children, they throw stones and some objects to dogs when they're in the yard, and in the process agitates them and lead them to be violent. So as such, we are vested with the responsibility to educate the public. And also, we would also want dog owners from villages around Ngwediva to make sure that at least dogs are fed, so that they don't follow them to town, because that's one of the problem, especially during the day. You find that there are more dogs roaming around streets, not necessarily from the town, but from elsewhere in the vicinity of the town. Therefore, the council will then implement available legislation to ensure that we control dogs, apart from the dog control regulation that has been forwarded to the Ministry for possible gazetting and enforcement thereafter. So once all is in place, then we will make sure that at least our town is free, and we want everybody to be peaceful, because we want people to coexist with dog as well. But the problem also, if in town, we are well aware that we have a number of people that like exercise in the morning, in the afternoon, and as such we want to protect this portion of our population in town. Further to that is that now the community itself is asking for dogs that will be found roaming around the street to be put down. But on the council side, that should be the last attempt or last resort, because we would want people to coexist with domesticated animals. Therefore, we really, as a council, wish to urge the community of Ongwe Diva to make sure that at least if you have a dog, feed it, give it medical attention, and make sure that it's within the confinement of your yard, so that the environment is safer.
Umuthia is sunny and hot today and tomorrow, with showers expected on Wednesday and Thursday morning as well as Friday afternoon. Ushakati is also sunny and hot, with humidity picking up until Friday when a shower is expected. Undangwa is partly sunny and very hot, with more cloud cover expected by Wednesday and some showers expected on Friday. Inanna is sunny and very hot today, with showers expected tomorrow afternoon before clearing on Wednesday. However, partly cloudy conditions resume on Thursday and stray showers expected on Friday. Utapi is sunny and very hot throughout the week.
That's all the news we had for you today in today's bulletin. Tunohole Mungoba will join you on Friday for the regional review highlights. From me to Imo Haidula and the rest of the NMH crew, it's goodbye. Have a blessed and lovely week further on.